Have you ever just wanted to be a dwarf living in a dungeon, making Michelin star meals out of monsters? Okay, cool, me too. So I just started Delicious in Dungeon and I love everything about it. The characters, the cooking, the comedy, it's all just chef's kiss. I just so happened to need a third cosplay for an upcoming convention, and when I laid my eyes on Senshi, the beautiful bearded dwarf that loves to cook, I knew I didn't want to cosplay anyone else. I don't know why there's such a draw for me to cosplay bearded men, but I guess it's just my destiny. It both terrifies and excites me that these stubby little fingers can turn me into pretty much any character I want. And this journey started where most do, at the thrift store. I ended up thrifting this brown dress as well as a big fuzzy white blanket to use for the furry parts of his outfit. Also, do you like my mic stand? I name him Harold.
I need your help. You need to kill me.
Anyways, we started on the base outfit, which includes the arm warmers and the skirt slash dress. So I cut the sleeves off and then measured it on my own arm. Do not do this at home with the scissors, okay? My brain was just small that day, and it was the only way I could think of how to do this. Once I had strategically measured out where I needed to cut, I cut both arm pieces to be the same length. I had my arm warmers. And I tried it all on and took some measurements. One down here, one over here, and one over there. And then I cut those pieces out of the white fuzzy blanket and got ready to attach those with my sewing machine. And then everything was attached together. I took this reference photo while I was watching the show for his belt. I found this one on Amazon that worked perfectly. I just had to paint it brown, and adding a little bit of fabric softener into any acrylic paint makes it fabric paint. Fun fact. So that's what I did and left brown streaks all over my desk. And then, in the true fashion of being a man-child, I ate tendies and took a 6-hour nap. I then violently murdered this wig, removed all the wefts, sewed them onto this nylon for you in this beautiful compilation.
Needs a little love. Every black boy needs a little love. If you put it down, I'ma pick it up.
That is the only footage I have of me making the beard. Anyways, now it's time to style it. Next up was his helmet, crotch plate, and shin armor. I ended up using this pattern from Mother herself. And of course, since this was a paid-for pattern, I'm not going to show you all the parts of me putting it together, but I cut it all out, traced it on EVA foam, and glued it all together in true cosplayer fashion. Then I made myself some Indomie with kimchi and hot dogs and chalky milk, and then took another 4-hour nap, but on the floor this time, like a true gremlin. Now it was time to make our own patterns, and for that I needed to use the tried and true cosplayer method of saran wrapping your body and then putting duct tape over the area that you want to make a pattern of. Works great 100% of the time, 90% of the time. And then once you're happy with the placement, you just draw the pattern on your body and cut yourself free. It is a fun time, and just be careful not to cut your skin. And then you have your own pattern fit to your body. I cut my pattern pieces out of EVA foam, and then I made the back a Velcro attachment to make it easier to take on and off, while also just cutting out the shape for the crotch armor out of one piece of EVA foam. And then I got my handy dandy Dremel, and I dremeled the lines that were in his crotch armor so that they would be nice and indented into the foam. Another one of them cosplay tips: when you want to attach EVA foam and you want it to be a nice secure bond, one of the tips I've learned is to make lines in your EVA foam, score it with a knife, as I'm doing. As you can see in this clip, you score it with the knife, and then afterwards you hit the lines with a heat gun, and it'll expand those lines into nice cavernous trenches, so the glue has more places to fit itself in, and then it'll stick better to whatever you're attaching it to. Wow! Filmed myself making them, but I used this video to make the horn, so go check it out. But these were all the pieces ready to be primed. I accidentally made the horns way too heavy, so the helmet was completely off balance, so I had to glue all these little bits of cardboard in the back so it would lie flat on the ground. Don't make my mistake. Safety first, of course. Then I went over each piece with my heat gun, and this just closes up those foam pores and gives you a much, much smoother final result. highly recommend doing it if you've got a heat gun. After marinating our plasti dip in some nice warm water for a smoother application and setting up outside, we were all ready to go. You're going to want to make sure you do this in a nice well-ventilated area like outside. Don't do it inside like an idiot like I've done before in the past. Trust me, us cosplayers are going to have so many health issues in the future. This is how the pieces looked after being coated in that plasti dip. So I got changed into my painting clothes, and as you can see, anime colors are so flat. So started off painting everything nice and flat, and with the power of the technique called dry brushing, we made it look so much better. As you can see, the horns have just definition. The creases and grooves in the helmet look just chef's kiss. Oh, adding the highlights, I can't speak. Adding the highlights, it just makes it look so much better. And then I attached the crotch armor to the belt. Super easy, super cool, very hot. For the plot twist of the century, I attached the beard to the helmet. What? Now it won't be a sensory nightmare all the time. And with that all done, it was time for the reveal.